Hey everybody, it's Michael Govier from the Hey, it's Enrico Pallazzo Fantasy Baseball Podcast. We bring you weekly fantasy baseball content, and since the first of the year, we've been bringing you non-stop, like 4 to 5 shows a week content. If you want to go back and listen to any of the shows that you missed, you can go to our podcast feed on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, etc., Stitcher. We cover all the bases. We're on all the platforms. Chris Towers was the first guest of 2021. Chris Towers from the CBS Sports and the Fantasy Baseball Today podcast, along with Frank Stample and some other guys, Scott White, legends of the field. Check out that episode, start from there, and then watch the progression. Because from January 6th all the way up until now, we've had about 30 guests on. I mean, it's been ridiculous. We have covered every angle of fantasy baseball that we possibly could with a bunch of different people from all types of angles coming at you like this. So there's no way you will not have a better understanding of fantasy baseball if you listen to the show from January 6th up until now. And this week we're going to have some more guests on, like Brian Seymour from the Fantasy Baseball exclusive, Frank Amarante, and more. So we're just jamming. We're killing it. We're in the zone. We're focused. I'm really excited because we're going to have Paul Mamino and Crosby Spencer from RotoFanatic.com. That's right. The Hey, it's Enrico Pallazzo podcast is part of the RotoFanatic Podcast Network. And on Thursday, we're going to talk about some of the great stuff going on at RotoFanatic, including our new projections, which are now available. Go to RotoFanatic.com right now. Type it in. Boop, 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 boop. Do the Bruce Almighty gif. Boop, 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 boop. Type in RotoFanatic.com, and then you see projections at the top. Click on that and see what you think. See if you agree or disagree, and then give us your feedback. You know, you can email our show, PalazzoPodcast@protonmail.com. 2 L's, 2 Z's.
Utah, give me 2.
Or you can just leave a comment here on the YouTube feed. I'm going to start posting more of these videos because spring training is flying by, and we're getting a lot of action going on right now. So I'm hoping that these will be useful for you, and they'll be updated, recent, not too long, and in some way we can make sense of what we've been seeing. Spring training is giving us some revelations. Some guys are making some noise. Bobby Witt Jr. is on fire. Is he really going to steal a job and take some time away from middle infielders in Kansas City? Like Alberto Mondesi or Whit Merrifield? Man. Third base, you know, that's Hunter Dozier. We're supposed to be the guy there now. Are we at risk? If you've drafted Hunter Dozier like I have, I've got a lot of shares of Hunter Dozier. Trust me. In fact, let me show you some of the shares. Most shares I have of players, just so I can give you guys some insight into what I've been doing. Now, this is on NFBC.com. This is where some of the big players play, you know, the high-stakes guys. The main event winner wins like $125,000. But, you know, I play on Yahoo, I play on Fantrax, I play all platforms. So I am not some platform diehard junkies like, you must play on this site only. Don't worry about all that. So let me share my screen with you, and we'll show you some stuff with a zap with a zip and go. So here's my player shares as of today. And I've done about 9 leagues on NFBC.com. You can see here, Ty France and Spencer Turnbull are tied the 2 most amount of players I have drafted so far on NFBC.com. I love Ty France this year. He's a great value. His ADP is down in the 300s, generally speaking, and you can get yourself a possible batting champion. Yes, and the Mariners run, so if he steals a couple more bases, that's just gravy. Ty France has been locked up, and he's been kind of controlled for too long by the, he's been controlled too long by the San Diego Padres. And now it's time for the Mariners to set him free. Plus, Spencer Turnbull is another guy with a deep value. I love Spencer Turnbull. Will give you great return. He might be the best starting pitcher on the Tigers staff. That includes the young aces, Casey Mize and Tarek Skubal, and Matt Boyd, who was terrible last year. Too many home runs. In my next tier, 5 shares of Gary Sanchez and Yohan Moncada. Yes, expect Gary Sanchez to bounce back this year. Gary Sanchez could win you. He could win you an MVP, according to Aaron Judge. That's what he said the other day. Take a look at the box score. This is from Sunday. Yankees beat the Phillies 4-0. Gary Sanchez, he played. Look at that. There he is. So Gary Sanchez scored a run, and he walked, and that's good news. And he's going to be down in the lower part of the order for now, and that's fine. Don't worry about that. That's okay. But if we look at what Sanchez has done this spring, it's very positive. And I love him for a bounce back. Right now, he's 3 for 9 with a couple of bombs. So this is spring training. Don't assume it's going to be the bottom line and the absolute answer to your problems. If you're thinking, oh, Gary Sanchez's spring numbers mean he's going to be elite. We don't know that for sure, but I wanted to give you guys some insight into guys I love. Gary Sanchez is killing it in spring. Yohan Moncada could win himself a batting title, and he could be an MVP this year. I'm not kidding. So I love Yohan Moncada. Wait on third baseman. Don't take Bregman, Devers, Arenado. No. I don't want those guys. I'll wait on Yohan Moncada. He'll give me more steals, and he could definitely be an MVP. He's that good. He's that talented. Don't worry about 2020. It was all COVID related. A couple more I'll give you here. Carlos Correa. I've got a lot of shares of him. I'm taking a chance that he can't be hurt forever. Now, I know it's a little more risky, so you don't have to follow me on the Carlos Correa train, but his ADP is like 112, so he might make a great backup to a guy like Bo Bichette in case he gets injured. If you take Bichette early and then take Correa in the 100s, early 100s, you might be in business. Starling Marte, I love him. He's going to be at the top of that Marlins order. He's going to be hitting a lot. Average steals, 30 steals are in play. He can give you 20 home runs. Adam Eaton's undervalued. He's in the 300s still with his ADP. He could be hitting second in the lineup for the White Sox. Second. Why would you not want to have Adam Eaton in that lineup? The White Sox have one of the best lineups in baseball. It's not even up for debate. And even though they got shut out by the Rockies 1-0 on Sunday, which is really weird, they still have an elite lineup. And in this game, I believe Eaton had the day off, so it was Lurie Garcia batting second. Tim Anderson's going to hit leadoff no matter what. Moncada hitting cleanup. See, I love that. That's good news. But if we go back to Saturday, Adam Eaton, 7-0 victory over Cleveland, the White Sox. Adam Eaton was a big part of that. Look at that right here. Oh, boy. I like what I'm seeing. He went 2 for 3, RBI, 2 runs scored. He's number 2 right there. I'm showing you. He's in the 2 hole. I love Adam Eaton, and his ADP is in the 300s. He's going to have guys like Andrew Vaughn and Jose Abreu and Eloy Jimenez driving him in. Why would you not want to be a part of that? I mean, it's just ridiculous. You're missing out. These are great opportunities. And then Daniel Hudson, I don't know how I feel about that. Don't worry about that. But Nick Solak, I got 4 shares of. Sandy Alcantara, I love. Tony Gonsolin, I'm a big fan of. And then Shohei Ohtani to close it out. Shohei Ohtani could win an MVP or a Cy Young this year. I am not kidding. Shohei Ohtani is that good. He brings everything to the table that you'd want. He's 6'4", 225, and he can steal you 10 to 15 bags, hit you 30 home runs, depending on playing time, 25 more realistically, but still, he could hit for average 280, 290. In OBP leagues, he's got a good eye. He gets on base a fair amount. So I love Shohei Ohtani this year. I'm all in. I don't care about the pitching side so much. I'm really focused on the hitter. So depending on how your league handles Shohei Ohtani, it could be a real pain in the butt. Make sure you're aware of, hey, am I getting the hitter? Or am I just getting the pitcher? Is he broken up in 2 like he is on Yahoo? So kind of annoying, but I love Shohei. I love you, man. This guy is uber talented. And Mike Trout, Anthony Rendon, Joe Adell come back. The Angels lineup, I like. David Fletcher gets on base. He's a tough little kind of, this is a guy you can't get rid of. He's one of those players that you don't really love, you wouldn't draft so much, but they're always kind of annoyingly good enough where you have to consider them. And when Fletcher has the type of playing time he offers with the multi-eligibility, that's a bonus. That's a good thing. So I just want to show you some guys that I'm liking and giving you some insight into how it looks for spring training. That's what you get here on the Hey, it's Enrico Pallazzo Fantasy Baseball Podcast. I want to give a shout out to my guy Mason Dodd over at the Fantasy Flock Network. He's got multiple networks going on with the Fantasy Baseball Flock, Fantasy Basketball, Fantasy Football. Let's focus on the Fantasy Baseball Flock. So go to Fantasy Flock Baseball. Look it up on YouTube, and you'll see some videos I did. Nola versus Darvish, breaking down some showdowns, some roto strategy. Really good videos. I love Mason. I'll do more videos over there too. He got me kind of going on these videos, so I owe him a big debt of gratitude. Thank you, Mason. Thank you for getting me thinking about other ways to connect with people through fantasy baseball. So I hope you liked this episode, and we would love to get you to subscribe to the channel. We post the live streams of all the podcasts on here, as well as other random videos or dumb songs I do. There's a few songs you can find here about Edwin Rios. They're covers of songs where I mix in baseball content. It's goofy, it's silly, but that's what I do. I'm a silly guy. So thank you so much for your time, and we'll catch you later.